Hello. I forgot what I was doing. Good morning. Happy Friday. You get a pat on the back because you made it through another week. And we are almost to the weekend. Close enough, if you ask me. I'm Alternator, and welcome to my channel. We are going to continue on with Lamar Johnson's hearing. We started this the other day. We are watching the supposed eyewitness. And I shouldn't say supposed because he was there. The he was the state's main witness to ID Mr. Lamar Johnson as being part of the crime that took place that took the life of Marcus Boyd, who was Lamar Johnson's friend. So this happened in October of 1994. He was ultimately convicted in 1995 and sentenced to life in prison. So he has been there for 28 years. He is trying to get his conviction vacated. And so we're going to pick up with Mr. Elking's, which is the eyewitness. We got through part of his testimony on Wednesday, and so we'll watch the remainder of that today. And then next week, we get to hear from the district attorney who is testifying for Mr. Johnson. And one of the detectives who's, when the state finally gets to their to present their side, we get to hear from a detective, and it seems like it gets a little spicy. Hey, Carmen, have a good day. Good morning, George. Glad you made it, Gabby. So, had to start a little bit early today because I have one more appointment. One more. So I have to be off of here by about 12:45. So I'm going to get started. We should make it. I just won't stop it very much. So hopefully nobody has any issues. Oh, you graduate today. Congratulations. In all seriousness, good job. Alrighty. So when we stopped on Wednesday, the I guess I don't know state and defense because this is backwards to me. Mr. Lamar, attorney, he's putting on gloves. I'm not sure what he's going to get out for Mr. Elking to look at, but that's where we stopped it. So that's that's where we're gonna pick it up. George, you get me every time. So he's putting on gloves, and we'll see what evidence he's gonna bring out to us. And remember, the audio kind of sucked, so I just I boosted just the voice. So let me know if I need to add the bass back to this because I didn't boost the bass and it sounds a little hollow. So I think I can probably just answer that question myself. Never mind. All right, try this again.
Your Honor, with the discussion we had last week about the so-called jacket.
Sorry, I'm trying to move the closed captioning.
Evidence.
What you can't hear over all the rattling. Hey, Christine, how are you doing? Good to see you. You can't hear over all the rattling of the paper because Miss Young, state attorney, won't go to the microphone because they are allergic to them, apparently. She's objecting to these jackets. Well, sorry. I don't think, maybe they'll win it. I don't know. But they were, I'm sure, part of the first trial. So, wow. That's kind of all I can say. It's just a little spicy today. I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Lawyer. Fair.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what?
Ask him to describe the jacket before you leave.
Oh, that's all she wanted.
So then why are we taking it out?
I'm going to show it to him and see whether or not that was a jacket he saw these people wearing the knife that killed Mark.
How could on one hand he didn't see the jacket and then tell me on the oath what he saw? He didn't see the jacket. He didn't see the jacket. Did you see the jacket?
I seen their clothing was dark clothing.
Okay. Did you see a jacket on one of them?
Yeah, they were wearing something that apparently was either zipped or buttoned. They were wearing clothes, so I know that
What
they
color
had dark
was the
clothing.
jacket, if you can remember?
They're black. It had to be either dark blue or dark black.
And that's all you remember, dark blue or dark?
Yeah. There was nothing that could distinguish it as anything else, but it was just dark clothing.
Leave the exhibit in the bag. You may continue with the next question.
I can't tell me.
Okay, she won.
What-
Her.
So they told you last week that they were going to show that he was wearing the jacket. My understanding was. And I'm trying to show you that he didn't see this jacket.
He just told me he didn't see it.
Okay. Good enough?
All he gave me was, he said he
That's for
saw a
nerd.
dark blue
Sorry.
or black jacket. That's all he's got.
Okay.
All right?
Your Honor, okay, move on. You didn't see anybody wearing a jacket with red sleeves, did you, sir?
No, I did not.
Or had a black hawk on the back of it?
No, I did not.
So I think you said when you got back to your house, told your wife what happened. You then moved out of your home on Bamberger and went to stay with your sister in Limay, right?
Yeah, we just vacated it. We left all our furniture and our belongings there besides what we took. And, I went out to my sister's and, yes, we stayed there. We didn't leave for a while.
Did you go back to work at Sayers the next day?
No, I was working through a temp service and, so I never showed up at Sayre. I didn't know what to do. Now I was, kind of worried about, what the cops were, thinking. Why haven't I gotten a hold of them so, and I was just, worried that, because I know Leslie was the last one to see me with her boyfriend Marcus, that, it wasn't me. And, but I was just, I was still scared because I did not know if those guys knew me too. So I just kind of went into hiding.
So do you recall whether or not your sister received a call from Detective Dickerson of the St. Louis Police Department?
Yes, my wife at the time, she, I was out visiting my brother with a friend, and I had gotten a page. We had beepers back then. I gotten a page, and I take that back. I'm sorry. I wasn't working at Sayre anymore, so I was working down at a place, Local 39. It's Decorators Union, and they hired they hire people, just for day or, day work or whatever. And so I was working for them, and I was down at like the convention center putting up, working down there for Decorators Union. And I get this beep from my wife that's got 911 across it. And so I called her on my break, and she said, hey, Joe Nickerson called out here, Detective Joe Nickerson. And, the first thing I said, I was like, did you tell him that I didn't have nothing to do with Marcus, getting killed? And, she was like, yeah, they're not even worried about that. They just want to know if you're all right. Did you get shot, and am I all right? And I was like, all right. So she's like, look, you got to get a hold of them. She goes, I got this number and you have to get a hold of them. So when I got off work that day, I wound up getting a hold of Joe Nickerson.
What did you tell him? Do you recall?
on the conversation of that, I just remember calling him and him asking me if he could talk to me, and I said yes, but, I'd like you to do it, while I'm with my wife and everything, and, why don't you guys, we're gonna go eat tonight at a place called Old Country Buffet, and I said, if you'd like, you can meet me there and, talk to both of us, and he said he would, and he did.
So somewhere, you met Detective Nickerson at the country buffet.
The Old Country Buffet.
Your wife was there.
Yes, and our son, Greg, he was like a year old.
Would this have been around your telephone call that your wife got from Nickerson? You talked to Nickerson around November 2nd, and then the buffet was around November 3rd?
Yes.
And let me ask you what happened at the country buffet. Were both of you and wife together at the table?
Yeah, me and my wife were sitting on one side they had booths, and me and her were sitting on one side, and when he showed up, you couldn't miss him. He's a big guy. He looked like Nick Nolte in the first 48. I mean, he's just a big dude. I was impressed by him, and he come up and he sat across the table from us and sat down and started talking to me about what I seen and what happened and was I okay and everything like that.
Did he ask you if you could identify the shooters?
Yes, he, excuse me. Yeah, he asked me several times in that meeting, the first meeting, if I could identify the shooters or if I knew them. And I told him from get-go that no, I never met any of Marcus's friends, or anybody that he ran with or anything like that. And I did not know who the shooters were or even why it happened. All I know is that I was freaked out. I just witnessed an execution. I meant, he got shot, I thought he got shot like 12 times. And so, to me, it was a straight execution and a planned murder. And
Stop there for just a moment. You said straight execution.
yeah,
How much time elapsed from when the two gunmen came up the steps to the moment they were shooting at the board, the shooting board? How much time elapsed?
I don't know, seconds.
Did you hear anybody say, "Give me the money"?
No.
Did you hear anybody say, "We're going upstairs to the safe"?
No.
Did you hear anybody say, "You got any money in the safe"?
No.
Good.
Did Detective Joe Nickerson tell you that they thought that you knew who did it?
Yes, he did, and I told him no, I did not. I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know any of Marcus's friends or anybody that he hung around with or who the shooters were. They had
Good morning, Stormy. It is good to see you. Sorry, I was muted and I didn't know. Jeez.
mask on. They had masks on. I couldn't see their faces, and from what I had seen at the murder, no, I did not know who they were.
Did he have some photographs with him and ask you to look at them?
Yeah, he had some Polaroids and asked me if I would look at them, and at first I was like, well, look, I keep telling you, these guys got masks on. I don't know who they were, and plus I couldn't identify them. I don't know what these photos would be good for. And he said, hey, would you just do me a favor and just look at them anyway? And I said yes, and I appeased him, and I looked at them.
Did you tell him that one looked somewhat familiar?
As he would pull it off of the stack, he would lay a picture down and kind of slide it towards me, and me and my wife were looking at it, but I'd look at it and I'd say no, and then he slid one towards me, and I said, those eyes look familiar. And from that right there, he asked me, hey, would you sign the back of that? And I said, no, I ain't signing nothing. You know, I don't know. I'm not
I'm a
saying,
little curious when you say those eyes look familiar. Is that what you said? Those eyes look familiar?
I told Joe Nickerson when he slid that one forward and I looked at it, I was like, man, those eyes look familiar.
Have you ever heard the phrase lazy eye before?
Yeah, I've heard of lazy eye.
Did you use that phrase in describing the person you saw?
I think at one time, I don't know if it was right then and there, if I used it, but yeah, there was one point, I think that what I was trying to say is that the eyes that I kind of remember in that mask, one had like a lazy eye or something of some kind of a difference. And that's kind of what, you know, I was saying, but like I said, I don't remember when I said lazy eye. I just, when they had asked me to identify him the best I could from what I saw when they got up on me, I just said that one of the eyes looked different than the other. I mean, because like I said, the mask they were wearing, you could see all of the eye, both eyes.
So one eye was, well, you tell me what you mean when you say lazy eye.
Just maybe lazy would be like one that would maybe not all the way open like most people's eyes are, or even a little disfigurement. Maybe, you know, the one is just, you know, something happened to it or something, but it was just different from the other eye. And that's what I thought, or not thought, but that's what I, you know, told him I saw.
Were they close enough for you to ascertain skin pigment?
Well, I mean, they were close enough that they could put the gun on me right up on my chest.
How would you describe the skin pigment you saw on the eyes or around the eyes?
Dark in color.
Darker than me?
Say just as dark.
It's an awkward question.
You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Did you tell him you were concerned that they may be coming after you?
Yes, I did.
Did he tell you that they could give you some protection?
Yeah, he also mentioned, because I was adamant that I didn't want nothing to do with this, and you know, I had a baby, and I had my wife, and my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and you know, I just told him, I said, I don't really want nothing to do with it, and I don't know who the shooters were. He just kept telling me, listen, man, if you're scared, you know, we can help you out. We can, we can help you out with this victim's witness or protection, witness protection or whatever. When he first said it, it kind of sounded like, you know, the mafia witness protection, the way he was talking. It was just, you know, and me and my wife were like, what, you know, and I don't know. Yeah, it was, he said that, you know, if I was that scared, you know, to talk to him, or, you know, to help put Marcus's killers away, you know, that he could help with witness protection and stuff like that. So, yeah.
At this point, period of time, in this second, what was your financial situation?
It wasn't good.
What do you mean by that?
My wife didn't work. After she had Gregory, she got pregnant with Rachel right afterwards. So she wasn't working, and my work was kind of jumping around, like I said, temp services, the local, where they just hire you for, you know, the day or the week or whatever. So no, we didn't know. our place, where we lived, where, you know, we were behind on rent, we were behind on our bills,
How about your utility bills?
utility bills, we were behind on those, you know, threatening, I think maybe mine in my name was shut off, and then hers was getting ready to be shut off in her name. Yeah, it was just, you know, our car was about ready to break down, and, yeah, we just wasn't doing well financially, no.
So you leave the country buffet sometime in the afternoon,
Yeah,
November 3rd.
yeah.
Where did you go?
Went home, went back to my sister's.
Okay. So later on that day or evening, did you get a call to come down to the, let me ask this first. Did Nickerson ask you, would you come down? If we get a lineup, did you come down and look at the lineup?
Yeah, before we left the country buffet, Nickerson asked if he could have a word with me in private, because he could tell I was nervous, and, you know, and he just asked if he could have a word alone. So I said, yeah. So I walked with him out of the country buffet. I left my wife and kid at the table. I told her I'd be right back. And I went outside, and Nickerson said, look, man, and that's when he brought up also, again, the witness protection. He's like, the way he approached me, and he made me think that he thought that, he thought I knew who they were. And I kept telling him, no, I didn't. So he kept saying, well, look, man, if we were to go pick up these guys, would you come down and do a lineup? And, you know, and I was like, yeah, I'll come down and do a lineup. Knowing that it wasn't going to do any good, but, you know, I mean, the way he was kind of aggressive in the way that he, you know, talked to me, and you know, he made me want to help. And, you know, and again, he's a cop, and you know, I wanted to help. So he asked me if he, you know, when we were out there, he asked me, he said, hey, if I call you later, would you come down and do a lineup? And I told him yes.
Okay. So did he call you later that evening and ask you to come down and do a lineup?
Yes, he did.
Did he come out and pick you and your wife up?
Yes, he did. He came out and picked us up, and on the way down there, again, you know, I was asking, you know, how dangerous are these guys and who are they? And he went to tell us that it was over, Marcus's death was over a drug deal that went bad. And, you know, so we kind of, we know who it is, and, you know, but we got to have, you know, we got to have somebody like you know, pick these guys out and put these guys away. You know, these guys are, you know, they're dangerous guys. And so we got down to the police station, and I did the lineup.
Did he tell you that these guys that he believes committed the murder needed to get off the streets?
Yes.
So you went down, so he picked you up, you go down with your wife, with Kelly also?
Yeah, she was with us, and she wasn't there at the lineup. She was just up there in his office.
Well, how about the baby? Where was the baby?
Left with my sister.
So when you got down to the police station, did they have a lineup?
Yeah, they took me down an elevator to, like, I don't know, I guess it was part of the jail or something. I seen some jail cells down there and stuff, and some rooms and stuff, and anyway, yeah, when we got off the elevator, we walked over, there was some other and they had a lineup where I was going to look through a door where lights were shining on the individuals that I were going to look at.
How many individuals in the lineup?
There was 4 in each set that came in.
All right, keep going. Keep going. Describe what happened.
Okay.
No, do not. I want him to talk about what happened before you show him. Go ahead.
Okay, so we get down there, and you know, the first ones, you know, and I was like, they can't see me, and they was like, no, and, you know, just go ahead and, you know, see if you can pick them out, you know, and I was like, all right, so the first set came through, and I looked, and I couldn't pick anybody out, and they brought a second set of different ones, and I couldn't pick nobody out in that one. And then they was like, well, okay, let's just take a break here. And Nickerson again just kept coming up to me and telling me, look, man, he goes, these guys can't see you.
Let me ask you a question. On both of these lineups, you didn't see this lazy eye thing that you saw earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was looking for that. I was looking for those set of eyes, and no, I did not see them.
All right. Keep going.
Okay, so Nickerson, you know, when we took a break, he was like, hey, you know, or one of them, I don't know what law enforcement, one of them said, hey, if we say, you know, if we have them say something, would that help you? You know, like, get the fuck up, what I heard the voice say to me, one of the shooters. And I said, yeah, we can try that. And they did that, and I still couldn't pick anybody out. You want me to go on?
No, there's a question on Councilor's face. So
No,
you can
yeah.
ask it.
I'm just going to show an exhibit, Your Honor.
You go right ahead.
Thank you. This is exhibit 46. And it's in your book, Your Honor. So that picture of the first lineup that you recall.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess it's the first lineup. Yeah.
So everybody had dark clothing except for the one guy who has white, looks like white pants, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall that you looked at, you took about 2 or 3 passes at this lineup, first one.
Yeah.
And then on the third pass, you identified number 4. If we're looking at the picture from left to right, one of the tallest guys on the right, is he the guy you picked out?
Well, again, you know, they say I picked them out. All I said, if I had, you know, because I felt like they were pressuring me and that they were doing it. And again, you know, I wanted to help, and, you know, they kept on me. And I said, if I had to pick anybody out of that lineup, you know, if the murder's in there, if the murderer is in there, and I had to pick anybody out of there, I would say number 4 looks the closest of what I seen.
Did the people the assailants that shot Marcus Boyd, did they have white pants on?
No, they had dark clothing.
This is the second lineup they showed you?
Again, yeah, you say it's the second, yeah. I don't know which one the first and which one was the second.
I understand, it was a long time ago, but did you pick anybody out?
No,
Did any of the assailants, the shooters of Marcus Boyd, have any clothing like the one with the saints on it and the other, the white and black checked jacket?
no. They had completely dark clothing with no visible logo or anything that would identify the clothes they were wearing. It was just completely dark.
Let me ask you a question. Turn back, if you will, to exhibit 46. Did
46?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Did any one of those 4 have clothing that appeared to you to be exactly like the clothing of the assailants?
And I guess it would be because number 4, yeah, I guess, all black.
And that's where you settled.
Yeah, feeling pressured, and wanting to help. And again, I did not pick that guy out and say that's who did it.
Right.
The murderer's in there, and I had to pick anybody out of there. I would say that the number 4 would be the closest to what I seen.
All right.
So, Mr. Elking, when you didn't really positively identify anybody in these two lineups, what happened? Did Nickerson take you someplace?
Yeah, we were going back up to his office, and we went to the elevator, just me and him, and I could tell he was a little, he was a little let down, or I'm not going to say agitated or anything. I could just tell he was let down, and we get on the elevator, and he goes, I know you know who it is, and you're just not saying. He goes, you're scared. And I remember him just facing me and saying, look, I'm telling you, man, we can, got to get these guys off. And, and he goes, and I could tell you knew who it was, the way you were looking at some of those guys, or, when they would have them step forward or whatever. And me wanting to help, and this is the part I hate the most. I hate talking about it. I hate telling it. But I just remember saying to him, you tell me the numbers and I'll tell you if you're right. And he did. He said 4 and 3, or 3 and 4. And I was like, that was it. That was the numbers. And that's how it went.
Do you feel, looking back on it, that the clothing of number 4 influenced your decision?
No. No, Your Honor. I wanted to help. All right, I just seen a guy get murdered. Was a friend of mine. Law enforcement was wanting me to help, and I trusted them. I trusted Joe Nickerson. I trusted everybody down there at that point that was trying to solve this murder. I wanted to help, and the way they were on me, and there was times that we haven't discussed, there were times that other detectives would make me feel like if I was not to help and stop being scared and help, that I could almost be an accessory to this, like I could be charged with this because I brought Marcus out on the porch where he got killed. And so not only was I being bullied, and I felt like, and then I wanted to help. I wanted to help. And this is how this whole thing happened. And I hate it. And I've been living with it for 30, 25, 28 years. And I'm telling you, I just wish I could change time.
You did testify at trial, right? You testified in Lamar Johnson's trial. Picked him out in the courtroom, right, by pointing your finger at that person sitting over there, right, sir?
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about that. But, this has caused you traumatic emotion. I'll withdraw. Are you here today to try to right this wrong that you committed?
Absolutely.
So, did Nickerson tell you, so now you've identified 3 and 4 in these two lineups. He told you that one was Marcus Lloyd, the other was Bill Campbell. Did he tell you that he was going to pick you up the next morning and meet with the chief warrant officer?
Yes, the prosecutor, Dwight Warren.
Yeah, so now we're late in the evening on November 5th when all this probably takes place and you finally pick out 3 and 4. He's telling me what time he's going to pick you up.
I don't remember.
8 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah, it was early.
Did he drive out the next morning and pick you up?
Yeah, he did.
Pick your wife up too?
Yeah.
Maybe he stayed your sister.
Yes, sir.
He brought you down to, I don't know if the circuit attorney's office was here in 94 or not, but for the circuit attorney's office, right?
Yes.
Did you meet with Dwight Warren?
Yes, I did.
Did Mr. Nickerson basically recite what the evidence was that you could identify these two people, correct?
Yeah. Nickerson talked to Dwight Warren and explained it and told him that I was scared and that I did not want to pick him out down there in front of everybody. He said, and then privately he told me who they were, the numbers of the shooters in the elevator in private. And
you agree?
would that be yeah, and Dwight said, is that true? And I told him, yes, it is.
And so you left Dwight Warren's office. Where did you go then?
Straight over to the witness protection office.
And whom did you meet with?
It was a lady that was working in there, and she talked to us about helping us find an apartment out of the city, and that she could, that she could help with the first month rent and the deposit and all that, and then even help us get some furniture and stuff like that. Also, said that they could help with, do we need groceries and stuff like that, and we did, and we were financially just broke, and so she said she could help with that too. And I remember leaving out of there that day with a check or cash. I think it might have even been cash that they gave us after that first visit. Yeah.
You walked out with about $250 that same morning.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yes.
And then did you move out of the apartment that you had on Bamber and move somewhere else?
Yeah, we put stuff in storage, which they paid for until we found a place to live. And
When you say they, you mean the prosecutor?
the witness protection office. And so when we found the house for rent, it was out there by Vida and Lime, just a couple blocks away from my sister. It was out of the city, and that's where they helped us get in there.
You moved out of the city to the county.
Yes.
So were the prosecution continuing to pay for your rent and utilities and things like that up to the time you testified in July 11th and 12th of 1994?
Yes, sir, they did.
And did the payments then stop?
After the first trial, yeah, the payments stopped, and I kind of just, they never got a hold of us again after that. But we moved. Me and my wife at that time were having problems. I was getting ready. Me and her were getting ready to separate, and yeah, it was just a lot going on then, and we were moving around.
Something I not concerned about, but I was waiting to see if you would go to it.
Sure, go ahead.
At the moment in the trial, when the person that you saw shoot and kill Mr. Boyd, all right? Did you look around the courtroom to see if you could see the person?
Honor, I couldn't answer that honestly because I don't remember if I did or if I didn't.
Because evidently on the record, am I correct? He identified somebody while he was at trial.
Identified somebody in the courtroom, Mr. Lamar Johnson.
I'm just trying to see what got you to Lamar Johnson sitting there in the courtroom. Did you look around? Did you lock right on him? How did that?
No, you know, he's the only one, he was the only defendant at the table. I knew the other ones were lawyers, so when they said, can you point out, you know, who the murderer was? You know, I mean, it wasn't hard to do that. I mean, it was, yeah, the guy sitting at the defense table.
All right.
Let's go to the day of the, they bring you down to the courthouse, and you're gonna go in and testify, right?
Yes,
One thing, put in a little visitor's room, people in there.
yes, sir.
Tell us about that, please.
They had brought Marcus's girlfriend and his mother into me, and they were, you know, they were crying, of course, and I hadn't seen them since before that murder, had not seen or spoke to them, and they asked me to please do the right thing. They knew I was nervous, and they were like, go in there and, you know, put them away, or, you know, just, you know, and they were crying. And, you know, again, it's one of those where I just felt like I wanted to help, and I wanted to, you know, I just wanted to help. I wanted to put a murderer away. And I believed, you know, you guys got to understand that when these detectives talked to me, they made it very clear that they knew exactly who it was and that I was doing the right thing. And no matter if I doubted it or not, it was the truth and I was doing the right thing. And that's how it went.
So you did testify. Did you, and there's two people, there's two shooters, right? that you
Yeah.
saw. One was Phil Campbell, whom you didn't know, I gather, did you?
No.
Do you remember whether or not you testified in this trial?
No, I did not. After the first trial, like I said, me and my wife moved away from Vida. We were, again, going through, getting ready to separate, and we were, again, just not doing well financially, and we were jumping around apartment. And, yeah, so we didn't have like phone numbers that they could reach us at either, but they didn't try to call my sister or my brother or anything like that to, you know, to track me down to get me to testify in the second one.
Did you learn did you learn whether or not there was a trial?
No, I was so disgusted with the first one and what I did that I didn't, again, I just wanted this all to go away.
Now, after this occasion on November the 3rd, 1994, when you picked out, when you told Detective Nickerson it was 3 and 4 in the two lineups, between then and the trial, were you driving and picked up by a police officer?
Yeah, I had gotten pulled over by a police officer, and he was writing me out tickets, and I think I had some warrants out on traffic tickets, and I asked him if he would call Joe Nickerson, and yeah, so that he wouldn't arrest me and take me down to the jail because, you know, that I was a star witness in a murder case, and the murderers were down there, and I didn't, you know, would he do that? And he did, and he did. He wound up not arresting me and wrote me some tickets and told me to, you know, get my traffic tickets and warrants taken care of, and he was doing a favor for Joe Nickerson, and that I was lucky. And by the time, like, I got home, when I got home, I wound up calling Dwight Warren's office, and I talked to one of his secretaries, which was a male, and he took care of all my tickets and my warrants and everything, and told me not to get any more and to be careful driving.
So the tickets that were stacking up were taken care of.
Yeah, they were all taken
You
care
did
of.
not lose your license.
No,
You do not have to go to jail.
no.
You went to prison for something in October 1998, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, I separated from my wife in, I don't know, late 97 and then early 98. We separated, and I got mental health issues anyway, and, you know, with the murder and everything that went on, and what I did, you know, lying about me seeing the shooters and who they were and everything. No, I was messed up. I was messed up, and I told you I was already a binge addict, and I became a full drug addict when my wife and me separated, and I lived in state parks in a tent for about 6 months, and you know, I drugged every day, boosted from, you know, mall stores and stuff like that for drug money to live. Boosting and stealing stuff out of stores.
What exactly were you convicted of that year?
Bank robbery.
Bank robbery?
Bank robbery.
All right, federal, what did you do? The federal charge?
Feds and state both charged me.
I imagine he robbed one.
Robbed poor
I
bank.
mean, you know, not hard for you to get there. You know? All right. You wouldn't, no, that's why I asked him exactly what the conviction was. Your objection was a little on the lace side. But the conviction was 4 counts of bank robbery. Is that what I'm hearing here?
Is that right, mister?
Yes, sir.
All right, keep going.
So tell the judge what happened after you were arrested for robbing these banks.
Hold it, Pete. Did you go to trial?
No, I pled guilty.
4 counts of bank robbery. Move on.
How many years did you get?
I got 12 years in the state. It was Class A, 85%, which I had to do 85% of my time before I was eligible for parole. The feds gave me like 71 months for each bank robbery and ran it concurrent with the state. And when I got out, I was going to be on federal parole or federal supervised release and state parole if I got out on the 85%, which I did. But yeah, I went to prison for 10 years, 2 months, and 14 days, the first one.
Were you in prison in 2003? And
Yes.
where were you? What prison were you in?
I was at the old walls called Jefferson City Correctional Center.
While you were in prison, did you write any letters to anyone?
Yes.
Explaining that, in fact, you were mistaken, or you lied, you could not positively identify Mr. Lamar Johnson, and you were sorry about that.
Yeah, after I went to prison,
Did you just show him the letters so he can authenticate his?
There's a bunch of letters, Your Honor. Yeah.
Well, give them all to him.
I can give
It
them
should
all,
have
but-
taken that long to authenticate.
No, it shouldn't take long to authenticate, but it takes long to read it, and,
Well, we're not worried about reading it right now. I can read. I just need to authenticate.
okay. I think these records are all in the books. I'm gonna hand you Exhibit 10. This Exhibit 10, Your Honor, you'll see is a custodian records affidavit, signed by Bruce Calkins on the 5th day of December 2011. And there's 2 letters in it. One from Mr. Bromwell to Reverend Larry Rice, and then it also has a letter from Mr. Elking in it, dated July 12, 2003. First of all, just look at the letter that you wrote to Larry Rice, or to whom it concerns. Is that your letter? Is that an authentic letter? You wrote it?
Yes, that's my handwriting. And yes, I did send this to Larry Rice.
The next hand you, Exhibit 32, this is a letter that starts out, "You should know that I am doing everything possible to prove my innocence in Marcus's murder," and it's from Lamar Johnson, Southeast Correctional Center. There's not a date on it. Did you receive that letter?
Yeah, shortly after I mailed this to Larry Rice, I had gotten clean and sober in there and everything, and I was trying to right this wrong that had been haunting me, mentally for years already. And so I wanted to write somebody and get it off my chest, and I thought writing Larry Rice. And when I did, I found this on my bed when I came back to my cell one day, and it was Lamar Johnson, the guy I put in prison, and or that I testified against. I didn't put him, but I testified against him, and scared the shit out of me at first. Yeah.
So somebody
Sorry.
that sent Exhibit 32, you found on your bed, you knew after you read the letter it was from Lamar Johnson, right?
Yes, I did.
I guess you were concerned. How did he
Well,
know?
Mr. Counselor, is it your intention to go over the contents of this letter during this direct examination?
I would like to, Your Honor.
All right, well, it's 5, so I'm gonna go ahead and recess this until tomorrow.
That's fine, Your Honor.
I'm gonna instruct you, sir. I'm gonna instruct you not to take any calls from anyone about this. You don't have to talk to the press. You don't have to talk to your ex-wife, your mom, your kids, your closest friends, no one about this case.
All right, guys. I've been trying to explain it to you in chat, and then we're missing it. What's happening? Because he was just testifying. He lied about knowing who the shooter was. Sorry, YouTube. Whatever. The police were pressuring him to say who it was, and so they promised him protection because they were saying, "Oh, you were scared." He was scared because he was there. He saw the whole thing, and he ran away. The people that did it were covered, masks, jackets, gloves. He said that he could not see if they were black, white, Hispanic. He didn't know. The only thing he could see was the eyes, and that's why he said they were darker skin. That's when the judge said darker than me, was asking questions. So he gives in to the police. He tells them, this is what he has said on the stand today. Tell me what you need, who you need me to point out. The police give him the numbers, and he agrees. So he just says that's who it is, which happened to be, one of them happened to be this Lamar Johnson. So his testimony helped convict this guy who was sentenced to life, who has always said he was innocent, said he was never there. This guy then, in his guilt of knowing he put this man and helped put this man in prison for the rest of his life, then he was saying he got into illegal substances. He, I think, robbed a bank or something, and so he was sentenced to 10 years. He's testifying now because he's trying to get this guy out. He's trying to help get this guy out. He knows he did not do the right thing. He knows that he lied, and he's trying to help him get out. The other guy that we saw on Wednesday that's in prison, the one that's in prison for life plus 365 years, he says, I was the other guy that did it, because the other person that was convicted, he's X'd on the eyes, he's passed away. So he's no longer here. That guy says, I was the other person that was there. He testified to help this guy, Lamar Johnson. Their state's saying he doesn't have any reason. He can come in and say what he wants because you can't add any more time to his sentence. He's already there forever. So I'm going to switch it to the next day. This guy's still going to be on the stand. we'll finish up his direct, and then the state's going to cross-examine him. And then once he's finished, and we're not sorry, we won't see it today because I have to go to my appointment, but then we're going to get into the prosecutor, that one of the prosecutors that was there. He's testifying to try to get this guy out. He was the one that wanted to file for this in the first place when they were talking about opening statements, but the law would not allow him to do so at the time because he had to do it within 15 days, and it had been 20 some years at that time. So then the law changed, and then they were able to come and file this to get this hearing. So yeah, I don't have a pool. I used to. I'd like to get another one, but I don't have one right now. So let me close this one. Bye. Open this one. I was going to go to my appointment and then come back and mow because I know my yard's going to need mowed again today. But then my husband came home and he said, "What'd you hit with the mower?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "I had a flat tire." I'm like, "Dang it. Like, I can't mow with that." I said, "I have no idea. I've really been racking my brain." Who knows? I'm going to guess. I don't know. I'm not going to guess anything. I'm not going to incriminate myself. Let's just leave it there. So, can't mow today. All right. So, this is the next day. That guy's coming back to the stand. So, same witness. Next day, he's going to, continue his direct, and then we'll get to the state's cross-examination. No, that's actually, I wanted to mow because it's going to rain tomorrow, which means I may not be able to mow Sunday. And grass around here right now is growing ridiculously fast. It's insane that I would have to mow my yard twice in 1 week. Like, yeah.
All right. Counsel, you may inquire.
Thank you, Lamar. Mr. Elking, thank you for returning today.
Oh, turn the mics on.
Your testimony. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yesterday, we talked about the crime scene. And you were there that night, and you talked about what we saw. At the time of the shooting, did you see any car drive by or park near there?
I think that guy's mic's on.
No, I did not. I didn't, I wasn't paying attention to the streets. I was just focused on what was happening, right in front of me, and seeing my friend, getting killed. And that's the only thing I remember as far as.
Well, let me ask you another thing. Do you remember as you were sitting there with the apartment boy on the porch that a white boy or a white young man came by?
Yeah, before the incident, before the shooting, a white male did approach Marcus while we were sitting on the porch talking, and they talked for a second. He walked off the stairs. Marcus did, and met him on the sidewalk right there in front of his house, and talked, and I remember that. Yeah.
Looked like a big deal.
It looked like it. I couldn't say for sure, but I mean, in my opinion, yeah, I kind of gave Marcus a little grief about it because he wasn't selling to me, but he did. It looked like he did with this guy, but he didn't. He never told me he did, and I never seen any drugs or anything. So
Did you recognize or know who that was?
not at all. Just a random male, white male.
So you don't recall a car parking where two guys in dark clothing jumped out of the car?
Yeah, that is a little bit. I can't allow that one, Mr. Weisco. Just ask him what he saw. You asked him if he saw a car. All right. You try to tell him what you wanted. All right.
The theory in the case is somehow.
I just tell me, did you see anybody get out of any kind of car?
Besides Marcus and his girlfriend and the baby, that was it.
Yes, that's the question. Besides them, you see anybody else get
No.
out of a car?
No, sir.
See any catches?
Wouldn't it be nice if all judges just turned, like when the attorneys just wanted to sit there and bicker and argue, if they just, okay, did you see it or not? Okay, like this guy. I get it. He's the only one that's going to decide this, so he gets to do what he wants, and he's a judge. That's also why he gets to do what he wants.
See any kind of car for any reason stop in front of the house?
No,
park
sir.
In front of the house?
No, sir.
And how soon after this young white male left the scene, how soon after, if you can recall, did the shooting occur?
Within minutes. Within minutes. I thought, I mean, later on, I thought maybe the guy was maybe went by there to get Marcus out because it happened just like that in my head. I was just thinking that, but yeah, It was like right after that, but Marcus was already out on the porch, but it just, I don't know, it just,
the timing felt weird to you?
It felt weird, yeah, because right after he did that, it was like he sat back, Marcus sat right back down, and then it wasn't minutes, and I'm talking minutes or seconds later that the shooting happened.
I got you. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yesterday, we showed you a number of exhibits. I think you identified those letters that you received and that you sent, right?
Yes.
You were corresponding with Lamar while both of you were in jail.
Yeah, me and Lamar started writing back and forth after I got that the first letter on my bed. Yeah.
I'm going to hand you Exhibit 10. That's the letter that's attached to a letter that was sent to Reverend Larry Rice. The back letter is addressed.
Yes, sir.
You wrote that letter, right?
I wrote this letter in the back, the one and two. Yes.
Did I tell you what to say in that letter?
All right, so pay attention. I know it's hard to hear that. Whatever. I'm just going to call him the defendant because he was a defendant. It's hard to hear him, but he handed this guy a letter. This guy just said when he and Lamar were, I think, both in prison, they started writing each other back and forth. So these letters are going to come into play a lot, I think, especially with when the state cross-examines him. So hopefully we'll be able to hear better. I have everything up as high as it will go. I don't think they've turned that mic on at the podium. Plus that guy won't stay there. But yes, so these letters are going to play a big part, I believe.
No, they did not. No.
Did you know it was going to go to Larry Rice?
Yes, that was my intention, was to get it to Larry Rice.
What did Bromwell, if anything, talk to you, tell you about sending a letter to Larry Rice?
Kevin Brownwell was my cellie. I knew Kevin's family from the streets, but anyway, when I seen him there, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and Kevin was doing a long stretch. He got a bunch of time, and anyway, he was talking about how his case was screwed up and how his evidence was all I don't know, like a lot of it was either planted or messed with, and
This is what he's telling you?
yeah, he was telling me this. He was trying to get he exhausted his appeals, and he was talking to me, you know, when we'd be locked down, which was quite a bit at the Jefferson Correctional Center. 23 hours a day, a lot of the days. And so we did a lot of talking, but he had pulled out all his paperwork, and he would be telling me how, you know, the police planted the blood on his shoes, and you know, just stuff, you know, and lied and just kind of got him sentenced with this big bit with, you know, from him saying that it was not true. Okay, so he started talking about who the prosecuting attorney was, and it was Dwight Warren. And so we're sitting there talking, and he said, yeah, he goes, I know that guy. I know that prosecutor's crooked, and you know, I've talked to other people, and he told me how he talked to other people in prison that, you know, went through Dwight Warren, and you know, they all say the same thing. But anyway, so what had happened is I was like,
Okay, so as he glosses over that part, Dwight Warren, prosecutor, the prosecutor guy that was his cellmate, Sully, as he says, also prosecuted Lamar Johnson and is also going to testify for Lamar Johnson. So that's the name of the prosecutor.
well, you know, I said, I kind of know a little bit of something about that. And I didn't really want to say because, you know, if I put out there that I snitched and went to court and I snitched on somebody, because in prison, no matter if you know, your friend gets killed or whatever, if you take the stand and you testify against somebody, you're called a snitch in there. And, you know, that's a death sentence in some camps. And, you know, I mean, you can get hurt. And so I was kind of nervous to tell him, but I wound up opening up to him, and I was like, you know, I know what you're saying, because this is what happened to me. And I started telling the story about the murder, and then how, you know, I was kind of bullied into testifying. I was, you know, again, it was just me and him talking, and he immediately thought if I would write a letter, or if I could get something, a ball rolling somewhere, that it would open the door back up for him for his appeals. If he could get, you know, I went into trouble. So that's how that all started. And then,
So he was critical of Dwight Warren, right?
yes, he was.
You told him that Dwight Warren was the prosecutor in your case, right?
Yes. And I told him, you know, the circumstances of what happened. And
So this letter that you wrote to him made concern. Did he tell you what to put in there?
no, I wound up just writing that letter. And then,
Let me ask you this. You have read this letter, I guess, several times.
yes,
Is the information that you put in this letter true and correct according to the best of your knowledge and memory?
yes, it is.
You kept saying this letter, does it have an exhibit designation?
Yes, it's exhibit 10, Your Honor.
All right,
It's in the book that we gave you.
I just need to make sure I had an exhibit designation so I would know what you have to look at. So exhibit 10 is the one you referred to when you asked him if it was true and accurate to the best of his knowledge and belief.
I think he authenticated all of these letters yesterday, Your Honor. I can either move now and introduce them all evidence of the group, or I can wait till the end of the testimony and then.
That really wasn't my concern, but when you drill down to a specific letter, give me the exhibit number so I know what you're drilling down to.
I'll try that, Your Honor.
Right.
Sometimes I'll have a question.
I understand, you know, the only human.
Yesterday, we also talked about exhibit 32.
Okay.
that a letter that you received while you were in prison?
Yeah, yes,
It's a letter that we talked about yesterday that you got.
this is a letter that was, actually, it was on my bed. It was in an envelope, and it was on my bed. So when I came in from work, and my cellie wasn't in. He was at work, and I seen this letter lying up on my bed, and I opened it up, and like I said, it was from Lamar, and you know, at first it's, you know, scared the shit out of me.
Stop for a moment. As of the moment of conviction, what was the educational background of the relator? As of the moment of conviction, what was the relator's educational background?
Lamar,
Yeah.
he had not graduated from high school, Your Honor.
All right.
He later on got a GED, but at the time he had left high school and he got graduated from high school.
All right. You have something to say, Counselor?
Yes, he, by that time, had gotten his GED, was continuing some college courses.
Because there's a sophisticated writing in this letter, and surprisingly so. But I'll take that.
If you couldn't hear what she said, he had got his GED and had taken some college courses by the time that he wrote that letter. The judge was asking because it was written, as he said, it was sophisticated, and he wanted, I don't think he was believing it was from him, I guess, but so that's why he was inquiring. Again, no mics because they're all allergic. That's just what I'm going to stick to. Or they're scared of them. I don't know.
For what it's worth. Go ahead.
Going back to Exhibit 10, the letter to the concerns,
Right.
what's the date of that?
I put on there 7/12/2003.
By that time, have you heard anything from Lamar? Have you written to or talked to him?
No, as a matter of fact, you know, when I entered the prison system, you know, I asked if I had anybody that had me down as enemies, and I didn't have anybody, and I was kind of seeing if Lamar had put me down as an enemy, or, you know, they ask you if you wanted any enemies. So I didn't bring Lamar's name up. I was trying to be low key around it. I was just hoping he wouldn't be at that camp or, you know, the prison that I was at, and he wasn't. But yeah, so that's
Okay, so when you saw this letter
yeah.
lying on your bed, did you get concerned?
Yeah, I got, yeah, absolutely. Because I didn't, you know, I did not contact Lamar. I didn't write Lamar about the letter I sent to Larry Rice. And so, yeah, to see that letter on my bed, you know, I mean, again, you know, I could be labeled as a snitch in there, and, you know, bad things could happen to me. So, yeah, I was very concerned.
You didn't write him back that way, I guess, did you?
I don't know. It's been so long ago. I know that I did finally write him, and in our letters that we wrote back and forth, you know, I straight up asked him if he was looking for revenge, if he was looking, you know, to harm me, if this was some kind of ploy or what. And then I asked him how he found out, and he never told me how he found out.
I handed you yesterday also Exhibit 35, which is a November 15, 2005 letter that you You received that from Lamar.
I'm sorry, did you say exhibit 5?
35.
35, thank you.
You received that from Lamar.
Yes, I did.
Also yesterday, which I'm going to ask you some detail about, is a letter, exhibit 11, Your Honor. It's a letter dated 11/24/03. Is that actually the first letter you wrote back to Lamar?
Yeah, I believe so,
Are
yeah.
you gonna deal with the fact that, hold on, yeah,
So
hold on.
this is a rather
I
detailed.
said hold on, because I have a question for you. 35 is a completely different typeface and a very different writing style. You gonna clear all this stuff up for me?
I don't know who typed it, Your Honor.
I'm concerned about who wrote it.
Maybe Lamar can. And I think
Well,
Lamar will testify to this.
Somebody has to resolve it, because you can't just look at me and say, oh, yeah, I wrote them all, and expect that to work when I'm looking right at different styles, different typeface. I just don't buy things, all right? You know, too long on the bench for that to happen. So be aware of that problem.
Did you write 11, exhibit 11?
Yeah, that's my handwriting, yes.
Did you say exhibit 11? I'm sorry.
Exhibit 11.
All right, just give me a quick second, please.
Yeah, we can't hear him either, Your Honor. Turn his mic on.
My question to you is this the first letter you wrote to Lamar after you received it?
Yeah, I would imagine, again, it's been so long ago, I don't know which one was first, but, yeah, it's a letter I wrote to him, yes.
Have you spoken to him before you wrote this letter?
No, I've never seen, I've never met him. I hadn't seen him, you know, besides a picture in a long time. And, so yeah, I did not know him at all.
You have a lot of detail in this letter. You're describing what you saw that night and Marcus Floyd was killed, right?
Yeah, he had said in his letters previous to that he was trying to prove his innocence in this murder. And again, you know,
Hello there. Long time no see. About as long as the Chad Daybell trial.
I didn't know if he committed the murder or not, but the thing is that I don't think that my testimony or what had happened to me with the detectives and everything, you know, it shouldn't have been allowed to send him to prison or be part of his sentence. And that's what I was trying to correct.
The information, the facts that you have in this letter true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
You're talking about exhibit 11, correct?
I'm talking about the letter you're on, which is exhibit 11.
All right.
Another letter I think I showed you yesterday, I'm just going to show it to you again, it's exhibit 33, which is a December 3, 2003 letter, which starts out, "Hey, Greg." You received that from Lamar Johnson.
Now understand how these letters that you're introducing, your evidentiary purpose isn't direct evidence to me because the witness is on the stand. I'm assuming you're putting these in here. Well, I really don't quite understand why. The other side may cross-examine on them, I guess, if they see something they need to. but you should know I probably won't read it because I'm going to rely on the testimony, which is what the law says. You rely on the testimony, and then prior written documents have other evidentiary purposes. So keep that in mind when you prepare your closing argument. Go ahead.
I understand all that, Your Honor. I gather that at some point you'll want to get back into the law, and we want to cite to the record.
And the record will be the testimony. There won't be any conclusions of fact based on stuff that has an unclear evidentiary purpose. All
I
right.
appreciate that, Your Honor.
All right.
Did you get this letter?
Yes, I did.
The next one I'm going to show you is Exhibit 30. If you look at that yesterday, that was a letter dated 12/17/03.
I tell you what I'll do with these letters. If there's an attack on the credibility of this witness, I'll take these prior statements to the extent that they're consistent as evidence that would go to the credibility of the witness's testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's very good.
All right.
This is Exhibit 34. Attached to that is an affidavit. The other, did you receive a proposed affidavit from Mr. Lamar Johnson?
I'm not sure how it went down. Again, it was so long ago. So what are you asking?
Direct your attention.
Okay,
Exhibit 34, dated December 17/03.
okay,
Hey Lamar, I received your letters and took my affidavit to get it notarized.
okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know if he sent me the affidavit or if I went to the law, you know, the law clerk in our, you know, in our library and, got it. But,
By law clerk, you mean a fellow inmate?
yeah, fellow inmate, yeah.
Go ahead.
You attached it to this letter that you wrote back to Lamar, right?
Yes, I did.
Also gonna hand you.
Yeah, that's my handwriting, yeah.
Hand you Exhibit 12. That's the affidavit of James Elking. You can look at that, and I ask you if you sign that affidavit under oath.
Yes, I did. I did it in front of now, this, there you go in front of
Hold on
a,
just a moment, please. Can you give me a couple of papers, please? All right. Keep going.
okay. A notary, I think that's what I had done, and it's a lay person that, worked there and was authorized to notarize, and, that's what I did. I got it notarized.
Everything in there true and correct, according to your best knowledge?
Are you still on are you on a different?
I'm on 12, Your Honor. 12 is a separate affidavit, but it's.
Hold on,
the
give
same
me just a second.
Same affidavit that's attached to the letter.
The same affidavit. All right.
It's a separate, I made a separate exhibit.
By the way, just FYI, the judge isn't lazy and just wants everything to be brought to him. In one of the later videos, as I was going through and getting timestamps yesterday, he comes through the door behind him, but he's on like I think he's on a motorized scooter. He was like wheels right up there because I've rewatched it like 3 times because I thought, is he walking? Because he's really short if he is. Then I realized there's no chair. When he's off the bench, there's no chair there. So just letting you know, he's not being lazy or demanding.
All right. I got you.
Okay, and your question again?
You signed that under oath, it's true and correct, right?
Yes, I did.
I have another affidavit that you signed, which is Exhibit 13. It's also under oath.
I see it.
No.
An affidavit that you signed under oath. It is dated.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Signed February 4, 2010.
Yes.
These affidavits that we just looked at, 12 and 13, and the letters that we just looked at, are consistent with the testimony under oath that you gave here. Are consistent with the testimony you gave here today, right?
That's okay. This question is okay. Go ahead, finish your question.
Yes.
And yesterday, you testified in this courtroom, which was all over the news last night. You were a drug addict, down on your luck, homeless for a while, lived in a tent in one state parks, trouble with the law. That you got out of prison. When did you get out? 2017, you said?
Yes, sir.
Since that time, have you taken any drugs?
Actually, that would be relevant.
Clean now.
I am clean and sober today. Yes, and I did finish my federal parole finally and my state parole. And I finally finished it, and I'm done with it. And yeah, clean and sober, and trying to keep
And
busy and
Counsel, the
working.
reason it's relevant is to the extent that there's evidence of prior drug use, I, as a fact finder, need to know that he's not presently under the influence of any type of drugs or alcoholic beverages. So that kind of went to that issue. Although it's normally done on redirect, but I'll take it now.
You're working, tell us what you're doing now.
Today I'm rehabbing a 4-family flat in South City, and just working hard, working every day. I'm actually I'm the contractor on the job, and it's something new, and it's challenging, and it's fulfilling.
Bottom line, your testimony that you give here in this court today, Judge Mason. Is it true that you could not positively identify Lamar Johnson as one of the shooters in Market?
That is true.
Well, I have this time.
You may cross-examine.
All right. Here we go. Hope she knows where the mic is and knows how to turn it on. But she can't find her paper, so
You do whatever you need to do, Counselor. The well is yours.
yay, I think that's a lapel mic.
You make it.
And she can't work it. Give me a break.
Yesterday, on direct examination, you testified, you were shown Circuit Attorney's Office Exhibit 59, which was a photo of the front of Marcus's house. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you testified using that exhibit, you talked about where you were located once the two gunmen approached, and you said the first individual had grabbed you, kind of pulled you off the porch and said, get the fuck up. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may, Counselor.
I'm going to show you my copy that was provided as Circuit Attorney's Exhibit 59, and I've marked it as State's Exhibit A59. I'm going to show this to you. and I'm gonna give you a Sharpie. Could you mark this exhibit with an X where you were whenever that individual grabbed your arm and took you and said, get the fuck up? And it's, well, I gotta open it, sorry.
Mhm.
There you go.
All right.
And if you could just mark where you were on this picture with an X. Okay, and then where did you go after he grabbed you and took you off the porch? If you could mark that with an O. All right, and then I'm gonna ask you to maybe draw a dot where that person was standing. Once you went from X to O, that individual who grabbed you, where was he in relation to this O? And that's when he was pointing his gun at you.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll take
Okay.
that marker back from you. And this is a fair and accurate representation of where you were before and then after
Yeah.
on this picture. Your Honor, I'd offer State Exhibit A59.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Give us a minute.
Tom J, turn on the microphone, Adair. She could at least turn on that lapel mic.
Let me know, just so I'm real clear on this. Hold on, let me first designate the exhibit number. A59. X equals where he was when he was told to get up.
Whenever, I'll clarify with the witness. The X was where you were whenever he approached you,
Mhm.
and then the O is where you were after he grabbed you and pulled you off the porch.
Yeah, he didn't really grab and pull me. He put his arm on me. And yeah, so yeah, you could say
He
grab.
pulled you off the porch. All right.
Yeah, he didn't, I mean, I got up on my own volition. It ain't like he just threw me over there. He just,
This
with the
black
gun in
cloth,
his hand, he just grabbed me and pulled me up, told me to get the fuck up.
this black cloth laying on the ground here, does that have anything to do with you?
No, that wasn't there at the time.
All right. And then the dot, let me make sure I get this down. You were standing, tell me what the dot means. You put a dot on here?
I put a dot on there saying, she asked me where he was standing, the gunman.
Okay. One of the two gunners.
One of the two gunmen.
You may continue, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Elking, on Sunday, October 30th, 1994, it's your testimony that you were at your brother's, and then instead of going home, you walked to Marcus's house, correct?
Yeah, I was dropped off by my brother a couple blocks away, yeah.
And your purpose for going to Mr. Boyd's home was to buy some crack cocaine from him.
Yeah.
And when
pretty
you
much.
arrived, nobody was there.
Nobody was there.
So whenever you turn around to leave, and you said maybe you knocked on the door for a minute or two.
Right.
When you turned around to leave, you see Marcus Boyd, Leslie Williams, and their baby pull up in a car.
Yes.
Do they park that car right up front of their house?
Yeah, it pulled right up. There was no cars in front of his house, and
And they park that car and get out of the car and come up into their home?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so nobody dropped them off. They arrived on their own.
They arrived in I think it was a tracker. Yeah.
And so you testified that, I'm gonna go over a couple of things that you testified about yesterday. Whenever that,
Stop for a moment. You said they parked right in front of the house?
Pretty much right in front of the house, yeah.
Did the police make them move the car after they arrived on the scene?
I have no idea.
so you and Marcus are sitting on the porch talking. You testified that, do you recall laughing? You guys were joking around a little bit.
Yeah, I think we were, I was chuckling about something, and yeah, and then he, like I said, I'd seen him get kind of startled or whatever, and I turned and looked and seen a gunman.
And they came from, I think you had previously called it a hallway next to the house. Is that correct?
Yes,
And that would have been on your right.
yes,
And both are armed.
yes,
One of the gunmen came to you, kind of, whatever you want to call it, grabbed you, pulled you, put his arm on you, but you make it off the porch.
yes.
And he remains there with you.
Not with me. He's still standing right in front of the stairs, because when I came down the stairs, if you see, that's a little sidewalk. I took a couple steps and then wound up being on that grass right where I put that O.
And he's on the same level as you, correct?
He's on the same level with, I think, like maybe a leg, might have even been up at that point, up on a stair or two. But yeah, when I turned around and I seen Marcus scuffling with the other gunman, and then the guy that told me to get up, the gunman that told me to get up, he could face me and point his gun at me, but then also reach over, and because those stairs are they're short stairs. I mean, if I was to show you the height,
Okay, Mr. Elking, let me ask you another question because you kind of got away from me there. My question was he on the same level as you, yes or no?
Yes, he was on the same level.
And then another gunman ran by you and went directly up to Marcus on the porch, correct?
Yes.
And the gunman who grabbed you, you looked at him directly in the eye.
In the eyes, yeah.
Okay, in the eyes. And you could see his eyes.
Yeah,
And the gunman who grabbed you, is your testimony that he had a distinctive eye, and you had called that eye lazy at some point, correct?
yes.
That was a little bit of a compound question. I don't know if he said distinctive eye, but he did say lazy eye.
Would you agree with me that there was something memorable about that gunman's eye?
Yes.
And you had, would you say that you described yesterday, and I believe the judge inquired as well, about what you meant by lazy. You said that one of them just wasn't open all the way. Is that fair and is that a fair recollection of your testimony?
Just different from the other eye, yeah. To me,
So whenever you say lazy eye, I want to make sure I understand. You don't mean that
Okay.
one eye is looking directly at you and the other eye is looking a different
no,
direction.
to me, I would call that crazy eye.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. We all use different terms.
Right.
So at that time, you're looking at the gunman, you're looking at his eyes, and then you recall hearing Marcus saying, no, no, no.
Yes.
And then shots are fired.
Yes.
After the shooting was over, both of the shooters are now down on the same level as you.
Yes.
They point their guns at you.
Yes.
They kind of laugh or snicker.
Yes.
And then they go back the way that they came.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And yesterday, I believe you testified that they calmly walked down the way that they came.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what I remember.
Okay. Do you recall giving a deposition back in 1995? Being deposed in relation to this case?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it.
Sure. But you remember coming in and taking an oath, questions were asked, and you answered those questions?
Okay, yes.
I'm going to show you, and this has been marked as State's Exhibit for identification BB.
So, guys, keep in mind, this was 30 years ago. They're trying to remember what they did. And he's done illegal substances in between that time, probably during that time. He's clean now. But you tell me what you said on let's see, this is 1995. Crime took place in 1994. So you tell me what you said on January 22nd, 1995 in your deposition. Even if you've only ever done one deposition in your life, good luck remembering that. Because they're going to ask you lots of questions. I've never done one. I've read through some, and they're really thick. And it wasn't even an interesting thing. Not like this. Not like a thing like this.
I'm going to show you on page 28, on line 21. You can read along with me. You answer, say, lower the gun and took off running back down the hallway. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were also, do you remember being deposed in 2019? And that would have been by Lamar Johnson's attorneys, Ms. Lindsay Reynolds. I think they came and took your deposition or interviewed you while you were incarcerated.
Okay.
Do you recall that?
No, I don't.
I think there was a videographer there.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Sound familiar?
okay, yeah.
And you took an oath and testified truthfully?
Yeah, I think it was, he was like an investigator.
Do you remember Ms. Reynolds asking you questions and you answered those questions truthfully?
Yes, yes.
Showing you this has been marked as State's Exhibit ZZ for identification,
What's the date of that, deposition again?
April 26, 2019.
Oh,
I'm going to show you on page 62.
this one's more recent.
Starting on page 62, you were asked on line 19, question. So after the two gunmen left on foot, what did you do? And your answer, they both kind of came down to the bottom of these stairs, they pointed their guns at me. And I remember they snickered. They looked at each other and kind of snickered. I heard a little bit of a laugh, like they scared the shit out of me, and then they lowered their guns and took off running and went back the way they came. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You testified about the photos that you were shown by Detective Nickerson yesterday on direct examination. Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified yesterday that you met and you sat at a table together, and that during that meeting, at some point, Detective Nickerson said, "Hey, can we go talk in private?"
Yes.
And at that point, Detective Nickerson told you about the possibility of getting you relocated and getting you some witness protection.
Yeah, or just a witness protection thing.
But in fact, it was you who asked Detective Nickerson to speak privately, wasn't it?
If it was, I don't remember, but either or, we talked privately.
And you asked him to speak privately because you didn't want to talk about the fact that you were going to buy crack in front of your wife.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I've made that clear.
Okay, and so you asked him to step away from that table.
Okay, yeah.
Did you agree with me?
I agree. I don't know if he did or if I did, but I don't remember who asked who, but yeah, we talked privately.
Okay, so yesterday your testimony was that he asked to speak to you privately. I'm going to show you again what's been marked as State's Exhibit CC on page 78.
No need to whisper, ma'am. We can't hear you anyway.
I'll have you read along with me. I'm starting on page 22. And
Give me
then
your line number, please.
line 22.
Oh, 78, line 22?
Correct.
Thank you.
And then I asked him, I remember asking him, because I knew now we were going to start talking about Marcus's side business, which was selling crack. And I didn't want to bring that up in front of my wife.
Right.
Did I read that correctly?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So you agree with me that you asked him to speak privately?
Okay, yeah, then I was confused about if I did say that he did. I don't remember who did. All I know is that we talked privately.
And so you looked at those photos whenever you were talking with Detective Nickerson. Do you remember if that was at the table or when you were standing speaking privately, or do you not remember today where it was?
What's that?
When you actually looked at those photos?
Oh, they were at the table.
And you recognized something about the eyes of one of the photos that was shown to you?
Yes, I did.
You said it had that same kind of lazy eye that you remember the shooter having.
Yeah, I said those eyes, they just stuck out.
Oh, which photo? Give me a second here. Which exhibit is that? Don't I have that photo already?
Your Honor, that was, I'm going to use Mark 1 as State's Exhibit, but that was being used yesterday by the Circuit Attorney's Office.
Under what exhibit number, please?
Your Honor, I believe it's exhibit 62 on the photo, right?
May I continue, Your Honor?
Not yet. Did you say exhibit 62?
Yes, sir.
You have your copy of that exhibit immediately accessible? Bring that to me, please. You gave that to me already, or it's just in the book?
I would bet that it's in the book, Your Honor, but.
But you haven't moved it into the mission yet.
My thing's not the book, Judge, I apologize.
You judge. I hate when I have to take my light out in restaurants because it's too dark and I can't read the menu.
Okay, I'm handing you what's been admitted. It says CAO Exhibit 62, but at some point it was also this Mark Petitioner's Exhibit 1. I'm handing you that right now. Point to me the person with the lazy eye.
Right here.
All right. Now, tell me, what about this says lazy eye? Because I realize I'm getting old, but you know, I just
No.
couldn't see it. So I need you to help me out.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
I just think it was just different from the other side of the eye. I don't know why, you know, again, when he showed me that Polaroid picture, it just, something I just happened to look at the eyes, and it just, to me, seemed, and I don't know why I say lazy, it's just different from the other eye.
Boy, they were making a big deal about this eye thing. He's looking at that picture, looking at the Lamar Johnson, looking back at the
When
picture.
you first described this lazy eye, did you say whether it was left or right?
I never said.
Which is it?
I mean, it shows on there that it would have been the right.
You can't remember? Oh, the right?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so long ago.
I just want to know at the time that you testified.
I don't.
I'm sorry, that you were interviewed. Did you say left or right lazy eye?
And I don't remember.
Who's
You
going to
see this,
remember?
and I'm pointing to top left. You see that person on the top left?
Yep.
Their left eye is a little bit more closed than the right eye, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Give it back to me, please. You may inquire, Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. And at that photo, whenever you were shown those.
Stormy, he's trying to get his whole conviction overturned. Yeah, it's because he was life without parole. So he's trying to get his whole conviction overturned, vacated, whatever term that it is they use. So yeah. And like I said, the original prosecutor who we're going to hear from, he was the one that wanted to file this first and couldn't because there wasn't a law. Then there was a law. So then they were finally able to. They couldn't file it. So this is what I always say about no. So when people say that if somebody's convicted of something, they can just appeal it. Well, yeah, they can. Most appeals are not, an appellate court is not going to overturn a jury. And Stormy, this is not at you by any means. This is just in general. Appellate courts, you guys have heard me say it, will not overturn a jury verdict. It's really, really hard to get that. So before you can get the Innocence Project involved, which is involved in this, you have to exhaust all that stuff. That takes a very, very long time. This prosecutor, he tried to file this in 2019, I think. And that's when there wasn't the law that he could. So he knew or thought or thinks or whatever, something is wrong with this. So he tried to file and couldn't do it. I saw where they tried to get a new trial for him, and the Supreme Court, Missouri's Supreme Court, denied it. So then this law apparently changed, and they were able to file it and ended up here. No, you're fine, Stormy. And like I said, that wasn't directed towards you. I just, and you didn't say it. It just, when you said, he waited 30 years for that, it's just, that's what happens. That's why when people say they can just appeal it, yeah, 30 years, that time takes so long to get through. And it just drives me nuts. So, and again, that wasn't directed at you at all. It just brings that up in me that, yeah, that's, uh, it's not that easy. That's why it surprised me in that McNabb Bell trial that she had hers overturned as fast as what she did. That was months. So that shocked me. It's not crazy. It's not crazy eye crazy. It's just plain crazy. This thing, crazy eye, lazy eye, I call it a wandering eye, you know. Uh oh, dare I can make a comment about that, but I won't. It's pretty cool. I hope it was one of the nicer ones and one of the better ones from Court TV. But it is still pretty cool.
The photograph, you chose the individual. You didn't know that person's name. Right?
No,
You just
no.
didn't say this one is familiar.
Well, he was doing one at a time. I remember that, and I just said those eyes. I said something about those eyes, and then he asked me to sign it, and I wouldn't.
And you picked it because of the eyes.
Yeah, just the eyes stuck out to me.
Okay. And you were positive that the person in the photo was the same person who told you to get the photo.
I never said that. No.
I'm going to show you again what's been marked as cases of ABD. I'm going to show you the front of this document. And this says deposition of secret witness, correct? That's that deposition we were talking about, correct?
Okay.
I'm going to mark for identification as I'm telling you, it's marked as BV for identification. I'm not offering it. So I'm trying to.
Well, what is it on the cover? What is it on the cover? What is it called?
Deposition of secret witness Greg, and it was provided to us in discovery by the opposing counsel. I'm going to turn to page 34.
With all due respect, if he can find it, it'll be easier for me to find rather than trying to, because your stack of exhibits here is not tagged.
He does not like that.
Do you have a copy? Because anything that you raise in court, you should be prepared to give the judge a copy of, so that I can make appropriate rulings on any type of objection.
Yes, Your Honor. I do not have a copy on me, and I will have one after lunch for you.
Does anybody? I mean, after lunch doesn't do me much good. I have to rule in a moment. I don't know what objections are going to be raised.
I can get you a copy, Judge, too.
Well, I'm just going to leave it at that then. If somebody has an objection, then we'll probably have to bring that copy up here to the bench so I can look at it. You make the team what you're required to.
So on this deposition, I'm going to turn to page 34, line 23. Question. The first picture that you picked out, were you positive that that was the person that told you to get the photo? Turning to page 35. Answer. Yes, I did. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, you did.
And then you also testified yesterday about the lineup that you viewed in person. And that would have happened that same day, correct? Just later at night?
Yeah, I think so.
And that was on November 3rd, which was 4 days after the murder that you witnessed, correct?
I think so, yes.
All right. And you testified that your wife came with you to the police department.
Yes,
Is that true? And that she was upstairs in the office whenever you went down to look at the lineup.
yes,
And then whenever you were done with the lineup, you went back up to that office.
yes,
I'm going to show you the same affidavit that Mr. Weiss just showed you that you authored, or at least signed, in 2003. And you testified on direct examination this morning that everything in this affidavit is true and correct. Did I hear you correctly?
yes.
I'm going to show you paragraph 21 of that affidavit. When we got back to his office, Detective Nickerson and a few other detectives sat around me and began playing good cop, bad cop on me for a few hours, more or less. Is that true?
Yes.
Where was your wife?
I don't know. I don't know if she was in a waiting room or what. I thought maybe she was upstairs in his office, but I don't remember now. I don't know where she was, but I know that she was with me
The same office
when we went down there.
prior to you doing the lineup? The same office that she was in prior to you doing the lineup?
That I went to.
You testified yesterday.
Okay.
And you confirmed just now.
Okay.
That your wife was upstairs in his office when you went down to look at the lineup.
You know, if I said that, I don't know if she was in his office or in a waiting room. All I know is that she went down there with me, and then when we went upstairs into the detective's area or whatever that was, she was not there at that point. No, I didn't go back to her until he took me back home.
And it's your testimony that when you were going to that room, you were in an elevator with Detective Nickerson, and at that point is when you had the conversation, and you said, tell me who they are, and I'll tell you if you're right.
Yes,
And then you went into an office with him, and then detectives surrounded you and pressured you for hours to identify.
I never said that. I never said hours.
That's read an affidavit to you, and you agreed.
I didn't say hours, and in the affidavit, if that was said, I don't know. I don't remember no hours. What I do remember is that I was starting to be pressured, and I felt bullied.
So that affidavit that I just showed you, that was not the truth.
You know, listen, on some of those, wherever they are, I
Let him
don't,
answer, counselor. Let him answer the question.
yeah. You know, again, I was just telling you, I wanted to help, okay? I wanted to help them, and I believed everything they did have to say, okay? But then, when I would get to where I was kind of backing away or whatever, yeah, they would throw some things out there like, either, another detective would say like, either you're on the winning side or you're going to be on the losing side. What side you want to be on, and that type of stuff. I mean, to me, that's,
How long did that go on?
I don't know, maybe a half hour or so, maybe an hour. It's been, 30 years ago? I don't remember. And here's the thing is, if I said in one affidavit that this is the truth and all that, well, if I was trying to help them and I was saying what they wanted to hear, well, then that was the truth at that time. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying when I was
No.
being pressured or bullied?
Because there's only one truth.
Well, I mean, then I'm here today telling you that what went on, how I testified against Lamar Johnson. Again, I don't know if he's a shooter or not. I still don't know today. But I know this, that I did not know who the shooters were. and I was told who they were, and it was wrong for that to take place. That's the only thing I'm trying to correct today, Judge.
What am I supposed to do with all this lazy eye stuff?
You know, the lazy eye, again, when the gunman told me to get the fuck up and I looked into some eyes, something was different about his eyes. I just remember that, and something clicked.
Take your time.
Something clicked, and the picture, just the eyes, I don't know if they were the same eyes or not. That's why I didn't sign the back of that. That's why I didn't want even to go, nothing to do with it. The thing is I don't know who killed Marcus at all. To this day, I still don't. And I think it was wrong that what I did, and I take full blame for it. I take full blame. I'm just saying that I was feeling pressured. I was feeling bullied. And then, you know, again, I was wanting to help. And I think it was just wrong the way it happened. And I don't think that Lamar Johnson should have been, my testimony at least, should not have been a factor in his sentence. And it's been haunting me.
You sat in a courtroom and you pointed at that gentleman over there named Lamar
Johnson.
I did it again, didn't I? Lamar Johnson. Forgive me for that, Mr. Johnson. Trust me, the Lamar Jackson that you're not him at all. Sorry about that, please. You sitting there, you pointed at Lamar Johnson.
Yes, I did, Judge.
Which eye of his is lazy? Just tell me which eye is a lazy eye.
I would have to guess. I would have to guess, and I would say the left eye.
I've been watching him the whole time to see if I saw a lazy eye. I didn't see anything like that. And I'm trying to get some real help out of your testimony why you went that way. Because you're hinging your testimony and your identification on this lazy eye thing. And of course, as a fact finder, I can sit here and actually stare right at people, particularly in this case, the relative. And I haven't seen it. And I'm just trying to figure out, okay, you got to be straight with me. Were you sure or were you guessing?
I wasn't sure. I was traumatized. I mean, I witnessed my friend being killed. I mean, I watched the murder happen right in front of me. You know, and then, you know, just something I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you besides the fact that all I thought when the gunman came around and told me to get the fuck up, I just knew something about those eyes, and it just.
At trial, were you cross-examined about this lazy eye thing? Or did you
No, I think at trial, his defense attorneys, they hardly asked me anything. I think they were, today I would call it incompetent with him. But yeah, it was, no, I wasn't cross-examined a whole lot. I think this is the most I've ever talked about the lazy eye.
You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. At trial, you specifically identified Lamar Johnson as the same person with the same eyes that you looked at the time of the shooting, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You testified a lot about how that was traumatizing for you.
Yes.
During the shooting, you were frozen at the bottom of the steps.
Yes.
In fact, you were waiting to get shot at that point. Is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
You made plans in your head of what you would do if you did get shot.
Yes, ma'am.
You were gonna drop down and pretend to be dead.
Yes, ma'am.
And immediately after you witnessed the murder of your friend, you ran away in the opposite direction of the shooters.
Yes, ma'am.
You ran through some private property,
Yes, ma'am.
hopping fences,
Yes,
just trying to get out of there. Is that fair?
yes, ma'am.
At one point, you stopped and turned around and you could see Lamar's girlfriend Leslie on the porch. She had come out of the house. Do you recall that?
I don't remember that, no.
At some point, do you remember stopping and looking back towards the house?
No.
And that night, you get home and you're terrified for your safety, for the safety of your wife, your child, and your unborn child. Was that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
So you pack up, you go to your sister's in the county.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't want to go back to be in the city of St. Louis at all.
No, no, I did not.
And in fact, whenever law enforcement got in contact with you through your sister, a couple days later, you said, I don't even want to come down to the city of St. Louis. You can meet me at this diner, not going downtown. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't want to go back to your house.
No.
During the lineup that was in person that night on November 3rd, 1994, the entire time during the in-person lineup, you were afraid.
Yes, ma'am.
You thought they could see you.
I did. You know, it's something that I had never went through. I had never been to prison at that time. I had never done anything like that. Yeah, and it's,
You had never looked at an in-person lineup.
no, I never
So
did.
you had concerns that the people behind the mirror or window, whatever it was, you were afraid that they could see you.
Yeah, I did.
And you expressed that multiple times.
Yes.
And the decision to cooperate was very difficult for you because you knew that it would affect you for the rest of your life and you'd always be looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
Looking over your shoulder for people trying to kill you.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, yeah.
So, Mr. Elking, you testified just now whenever you were answering some of Judge Nathan's questions. You said that you were talking to the police and you just wanted to help.
Yes.
And you would agree with me that in that 2003 affidavit where it says that you were in the police department for hours, your memory today is that that is untrue.
I think the hours is untrue.
Okay. And whenever you were sent that affidavit in 2003, that was sent to you by Lamar Johnson, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you just wanted to help Lamar Johnson.
To right or wrong, yes, ma'am.
So whenever you first went to prison in 1999, is that correct? I think
99.
99, okay. By that time, you ended up at the walls, you said?
Not at first. I mean, I didn't wind up there. I wound up getting up there.
Okay. Is that the first penitentiary that you went to in 1999?
No, I think I started at the reception diagnostic,
Fulton?
Fulton.
And then
Eventually, I got to Jefferson City.
and that's the old Missouri pen, correct?
Right. Yeah, they call it the walls, the old walls.
So if I say the walls, I'm using your words, so you'll know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
so you'll
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I was general counsel at the time. So I know it was the Missouri State Penitentiary.
We're all on the same
And that's
page.
Right, we're on the same page.
And so whenever you end up at the walls, your house at the walls, you are roommates with Kevin Bromwell, cellmates.
Yes.
And you're not roommates, you call them cellies, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what
We're
you're
Sally's.
And he started talking to you about how he's innocent.
Yes, ma'am.
And he told you, you spent days, weeks, months looking at his case.
Yes, ma'am.
And he told you all about how, this horrible injustice occurred, and he wants to take down Dwight Warren.
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you cellmates with Kevin Bromwell?
I'm not sure. Maybe a year or under a year, but somewhere around there.
Okay. And so at some point, he tells you, I want someone to look at my case. I want to cast light on Dwight Warren being a shady prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And he comes up with an idea after you say that Dwight Warren was the prosecutor on the case when you were a witness. He said that we should write a letter to Larry Rice.
Yes, ma'am.
It was not your idea,
No.
but you agreed
Yes.
and you wrote a letter and he sent it to Larry Rice.
Yes, ma'am.
You did not send that letter.
No, he was wanting to send it, and he was going to write something with it, he said, and he had Larry Rice's address, so yeah, he said he would send it.
So I want to talk about those letters now. You were just shown a number of letters back and forth. The first one
Hmm.
made its way to Larry Rice. At least that was your understanding.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
You never got a letter back from him, right?
No,
You believe that it was sent to Larry Rice.
exactly, yes.
And then the rest of those letters are correspondence between you and Lamar Johnson. Correct?
Yes,
And you were just shown all of those letters on direct examination.
yes.
So I want to start with the letter dated 7/12/03.
7/12/03.
Yes, Your Honor. That would be the one that you said you wrote to whom it may concern for.
Does it have an exhibit designation on it?
I believe that was CAO 011. 10, thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you. Let me continue.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you send this letter to whom it may concern, and in this letter, you say that you view an in-person lineup at the police department. The next day, you go to the prosecutor's office, and the prosecutor, Dwight Warren, met with you and the detective, and they pressured you into making an identification. Is that true?
Is-
And I'm not asking you if it's true. Is that what you said in this letter?
Yes, yes,
Okay. And then some time passes and you received a letter. You said that this letter showed up on your bed, but it was signed from Lamar Johnson, correct?
yes.
And that letter is not dated. Do you agree with me? You have that one in front of you still?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not dated,
Okay.
or, well, okay, yeah, I think 32, exhibit 32, yeah, I don't see it being dated, no.
Okay. And so between the time that you wrote this letter to Mr. Rice, Reverend Rice,
Yes,
and getting this letter back from who you believe to be Lamar Johnson,
yes.
how much time passed?
Again, I don't know, but it wasn't long.
Okay.
It wasn't long.
You can't remember exactly how long it was today?
No,
That's fair. So in this letter that you sent, you don't say anything in this letter about the police threatening to pin you as an accessory to murder. Is that fair?
okay, yeah,
And you don't say anything about, the police suspecting you at all. Is that fair?
is that, if that's what's in the letter, yeah,
And so
yes.
then you get a letter back from who you believe to be from Lamar Johnson sometime later. We're not sure how much time. And in that letter, he says to you that it's puzzling to him that your identification came after you spent some time alone with Detective Nickerson. Is that correct?
Can you say that one more time?
Sure. Want me to show you? Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Circuit Attorney's Office Exhibit 32. Looking at this second paragraph right here where it says, you didn't say anything about a lazy eye until after you identified another man in the lineup and had spent some time alone with Detective Nickerson. And that is what's so puzzling. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that, because I meant to ask you about that myself. Is what she just read, is that true? Read that again, Counselor.
Sure. Your Honor.
Okay.
So the letter that you received from who was reported to be Lamar Johnson said, you didn't say anything about a lazy eye until after you identified another man in the lineup and you spent some time alone with him. And that is what's so puzzling.
Is that, other than that is what's so puzzling, is that true?
Yes, I did not officially pick anybody out of the lineup. okay? They kept asking me, you know, can you pick somebody out, pick somebody out, pick somebody out? And I said, if the murderer is in that lineup, and this is what I said, if the murderer is in that lineup and I had to pick anybody, I said I would have to say number 4, and it was the wrong person.
So let me see if I got this right. You viewed number 4 not as, you correct me if I'm misstating,
Okay.
right? Not as the person you knew who did it, but as the one that in a world where you had to pick closest to what you recall.
Because of the height of all the other people and the height of the number 4. And I said, the thing was, is I wasn't picking anybody out. I didn't say number 4 is it. I did not say that. I said that if I had to.
I got you.
Okay.
Prior to the jury trial, were you interviewed by counsel for the defendant, counsel for Mr. Johnson?
No, I was not that I remember.
During the course of
I might have
the
been,
trial,
I might have been, I don't know. I don't
during the
remember.
course of the trial, did you explain this about why you went ahead and said number 4?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody even asked me about it. If they did, I explained it like I'm trying to explain it to you. Anybody that's ever said that, well, why did you pick out number 4? I never picked out number 4. They kept asking me, you know, can you pick somebody out? You know, do you know who it is? And so I said, and what it was is because I knew that Nickerson went out and picked up what he thought was the murderer and was going to put him in a lineup. And I said, if the murderer is in this lineup and I had to pick one, I said it would be number 4. But I never picked number 4 out. I didn't say number 4 is the shooter.
I'm not trying to be tough on you, but you understand I have a big decision.
Mhm.
All right. You may continue.
Thank you. So going back to these letters, Mr. Elking, so in that letter from who you believed it to be, at least from Lamar Johnson, at the end he said that he expected to hear from you, and you did in fact write him back, correct?
Yes, I did.
And whenever you wrote him back, that is the first time that you said that you were alone with Detective Nicholson in the elevator.
Yes, ma'am.
After he had said, introduced you the idea that you spent some time alone with Detective Nicholson. That was not in your letter to Larry Rice, was it?
No, ma'am.
And then you write in that letter that you wrote back, I'm looking at the 11/24/2003 letter. At the end of that letter, you asked him, write me back and tell me what we do next. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, but yes, if I wrote it, then I did.
Do you want me to show you, sir?
No, I believe you. I believe you.
And then he writes you back on December 3rd, 2003.
Okay.
And in that letter, he says, I'm enclosing an affidavit that I need you to have notarized.
Okay.
You agree with me that he wrote that affidavit? Is that fair?
No, I don't recall him writing the affidavit. No.
Was the affidavit included in that letter that Mr. Weiss just showed you on direct examination?
I guess it was. I don't remember him like filling out an affidavit for me. I remember going and getting an affidavit and filling it out, and then.
Let me see if I can help clarify.
Okay.
Do you remember taking that affidavit and signing your name to it with a notary or someone who looked and said?
Yeah, after I had, yeah.
Okay, but my question to you is, do you recall that that affidavit was prepared and sent to you in a letter from Lamar Johnson? You took it and then got it signed?
No, what you're saying is that he wrote an affidavit out for me and said, hey, go get this signed. Well, the thing is that if anything was done, I sent him an affidavit that I filled out, and then he typed it up or whatever, because I did not have a typewriter. And in prison, some people can have typewriters, some can't, okay, in your room. And I didn't type. I didn't go down to the library and type. I didn't do any of that type of stuff. I didn't. So yeah, I could have sent it to him, and he got it, and he typed it up and sent it back to me, and then we did it like that. But those are my words.
So if that's what happened, if you sent him an affidavit for him to type up for you, we don't have that letter, is that fair? That's not in front of you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And so then you write Lamar Johnson back on December 17th, 2003. Is that correct? You have that one in front of you?
What is it? What?
December 17th, 2003.
December, okay, December 17, 2003, yes.
And you tell them that you got the affidavit signed,
Okay,
and you were shown that affidavit as well in direct examination.
okay,
That was then on the same day, you got the affidavit signed.
okay, and you know what, I think, okay, now I'm trying to remember exactly how this affidavit and all that came about. I think you're right. I think he did type up an affidavit for me. I do, but I think it was because when we were talking back and forth, and I told him exactly what went on, they were my words that he was putting in the affidavit. And I think when he sent that to me, I read it, and I said, yeah, that's accurate, and I went and had it notarized.
Okay, and so on December 17th,
Next,
on December 17th, 2003,
Okay,
that would be the date that you sent this letter to Lamar Johnson, is that right?
okay, yes. Yeah, that's my handwriting.
And then that same day, December 17th, 2003, is whenever you, excuse me, signed this affidavit, is that right?
Okay, yes.
You can look at the last page.
Yeah, yeah, I
You can look
see
at
it.
mine.
Yeah, I see it. It's my handwriting. Yes,
All right, and you signed that James Elking,
yes.
and it says at the beginning, I, James Elkin.
Yeah, in state prison, my last name was Elkins.
Okay, but then the letter that you write to Lamar Johnson on that same day, you signed James Elkin, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, Elking.
which is correct.
Well, Elking is correct, but
The records officer made a mistake.
made a
in that
mistake,
statement.
yeah, and they told me I had to keep it as that throughout my whole,
Was that on your conviction record as well?
yes. Yeah, it was,
Other than being in the Department of Corrections, have you ever gone by any other name?
just my middle name, Greg.
Okay, and also in this letter, the December 17th letter, to Lamar Johnson, you tell him.
Oh, just so you know, the basis of that question that I asked. At that time, and actually even to this day, the records officer was the person whose job it was to keep an accurate record of basically the coming in, the timing, everything of particular offenders. When they received the sentence and judgment paper, which back at that time was, or even today, they're filled out by hand. If somebody's handwriting was bad, and the G looked like an S, the records officer would have written it in. Now, once the records officer writes it in, pretty much can't be changed short of a court order. So that's why that was a problem. And then off the record for a minute. That's why I'm so concerned about my handwriting. Back on. Go ahead.
You testified on direct examination, well, actually, back to this letter, so the December 17th, 2003 letter, you tell Lamar Johnson how that letter that he sent came to you. So he sent it to someone, who gave it to someone else, who then put it on your bed.
Yes, ma'am.
And that scared you, using your words, you said that scared the shit out of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that demonstrated to you that Lamar Johnson knew where you were.
Exactly.
You didn't know his feelings towards you at that point.
Exactly.
You write him a letter, you You say that you're wondering how many people know what's going on. You feel like you have to look over your shoulder.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like you felt whenever you agreed to cooperate 10 years prior.
No, I didn't think Nickerson was gonna stab me, but no.
But you testified that the decision to cooperate was going to make you have to live with that the rest of your life.
Yes,
And there's nothing worse than being labeled a snitch in prison, correct?
exactly.
And you knew Lamar Johnson knew where you were.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever, I'm going to take you back to the night of October 30th, 1994. Your testimony yesterday was that all you could see was the eyes. Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay. And in fact, you were asked prior to your trial testimony, you were deposed by Lamar Johnson's attorney, talking about that 1995 deposition, and he asked you how much of the face you could see. Do you remember that?
no, I don't remember it, but
Okay, I'm going to show you on those marks for identification of BV. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to show you, we're going to start at page 17, line 22.
Okay, please.
17, line 22. So would it be fair to say that the part of his face that you saw was from above the nose to below the hairline? Answer, I've seen some of the cheeks, the mask was, continuing on to page 18. A little further down on the nose, I've seen parts of his cheek here, and I've seen the full circles of his eyes completely, and then about half of his forehead because of the way the mask kind of came up to half of his forehead. Did I read that correctly?
yes,
Okay. And then do you recall whenever you testified at trial, being shown a picture, and you were asked, and see if I can find it. Do you remember being shown any pictures when you testified at trial?
yeah, the mask,
Okay, I'm gonna show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit W. And do you recall at trial, the prosecutor drawing lines showing you, you had indicated how much of the shooter's face that you could see. He drew some lines and you agreed that that's how much of his face you could see. Okay, I'm gonna show
Hold on
you.
for a second. So that's what those lines, okay, finish your question, go ahead.
So I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit W. And it has another sticker in the top corner, so ignore that one. So do you remember being shown this picture and these lines were drawn?
yeah,
And looking at this picture today, is that your memory of how much of the face of the shooter that you could see?
yeah,
Okay. So it's not just eyes, you would agree with me that's a little bit of the cheeks and about half the forehead. Is that fair?
yeah.
I think I probably know the answer, but what's the, mask in question that was used ever seized by police and put into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm getting to that next.
All right.
Okay, and Your Honor, I would move to admit State's Exhibit W that was just shown to the.
Yeah, I had been looking at it, as a CAO 62, but, it's being proffered as, W.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you. And so you testified when I asked you about pictures, you said you remember being shown a picture of the mask or the actual mask?
I think both. At one point I was shown a mask. I think that
And
wasn't a
I'm gonna show
picture.
you what's been marked as State's Exhibit C.
And incidentally, I'm taking all these exhibits as respondency, not respondents, but as respondents exhibit. State isn't really necessarily a direct party in this case.
Sure, those were the stickers I had, Jeff, we're happy to.
I understand. I understand.
Okay, I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit C. Is this the mask for the picture that was shown to you at trial?
I think so, yes.
Okay, and looking at this picture today, is this the same type of mask that was worn by the shooters, if you recall?
Kind of.
Okay.
Can you elaborate on what kind of means?
I thought that the hole for the eyes was a little bigger, but that, that could have been stretched out. I don't know, it wasn't.
I got
so.
you.
Sure, so this
I didn't
picture
see a mask by itself when it was pulled on somebody's head, so that's, so that's,
Did they show you an actual mask at trial?
I think, I don't know, I've seen a mask, I don't know where it was at, I don't remember where I
When I
seen
say
it.
a trial, jury sitting over there in the box,
Right,
prosecutor and or defense counsel showing it to you.
I guess, it
No,
might
don't say
have,
I
I'm not,
guess, do you remember?
I don't remember.
All right.
you've been asked, I don't think you were asked at all here this week, Mr. Elking, but you've been asked previously to give descriptions of the shooter's build, height. Do you recall that?
No, not really, but yes, yeah, I was asked a lot of questions like that, yeah.
And I believe yesterday you were asked about the skin pigment of the shooters. I believe that was by Judge Mason. You remember him asking you that?
Yes,
And you testified that the shooters their skin was dark in color. And Judge Mason asked you, were they as dark as me? And you said just as dark as the judge. Am I remembering that correctly?
yes,
Do you remember in your deposition, whenever you testified, that the second individual that went to Marcus had much darker skin than the first shooter?
no, I don't remember.
And I think I misspoke. It's actually in your 2010 affidavit. Do you have that one in front of you, or did that one get taken away? Is that one in front of you, sir?
I don't see it right this second, no.
Okay, let me know.
I guess this would be it here, I don't know. A 2010,
That's correct.
yeah, right here.
Okay, and in that affidavit, you say that the second shooter, the second gunman who ran up to Marcus, his skin was much darker than the individual who came to you. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't remember saying that, but again, it's been so long ago.
Sure, so your memory in 2010 would be better than it is today, is that fair?
I would imagine it was a little better than, yeah.
And you'd also
It was closer
testified
to
where
the,
you
murder.
originally, when asked to describe the shooters, said that the individual who came up to you was at least 6 foot tall. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember speaking to Detective Nickerson at the diner, and he asked for a description of the shooters?
Yeah, and like I said, I think I had said that, they weren't short. They were tall.
And sir, how tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
And you testified that you were looking directly in the eyes of the person who came to you, correct?
Well, when I was sitting down, yeah, that's when I'd seen him in his eyes. I wasn't looking directly in his eyes when I stood up because I was kind of focused. It was back and forth, so no, it was just when I was sitting down.
And do you recall telling Detective Nickerson at the diner that the one who grabbed you was at least 6 foot tall?
And I could have, yes.
Okay. And do you remember in your 2019 deposition being asked about the descriptions of the gunmen?
My 2019 from who?
That was whenever they came and interviewed you at your deposition when you were in custody?
2019. right?
That's correct. I don't think you have that.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that one, but,
I'm gonna show you page 57. And we're starting at line 20.
okay.
How tall were they, each of them? Answer. The one that ran up past me and killed, or, fired Marcus first, that was wrestling with Marcus, was kind of skinny and tall.
Mhm.
And then answer. The guy that got me was shorter.
Okay,
So that was your testimony in 2019. Did I read that correctly?
yes,
And you just testified when I was asking you that you remember them both being taller, correct?
yeah, taller, not short,
Okay, and short can mean different things to different people.
yeah.
What do you mean not short?
Not short, something maybe, 5'4", to me is short, 5'5", short.
Okay, so you would definitely remember if one of them was at least a half foot shorter than you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember saying how tall they exactly were. Again, as time goes on and this has been going on and on and on, and then, you see that I can be a little inconsistent here and there on affidavit because there's so much has been asked of me, and it is just, I try to the best of my ability to tell you exactly the truth is all I'm wanting to tell you is the truth, okay? And that's it, just the truth, nothing.
You have changed in your mind over time.
They haven't changed. That's you saying to me that I'm just, a liar. I don't just go around lying.
My question to you is as a memory of the details.
I think that at times I might say one thing and then say another, but the whole thing is that I'm just telling you the truth to the best of what I remember that happened
I have one question.
in 1994.
Because then you tell me why you on the porch, one of your assailants pointed the gun or a gun at you.
Yeah.
Did you see this gun?
Yeah, as I remember, I told you as I looked over,
Can you
and they
describe
were,
the gun to me? That was
yeah,
pointed at
they
you.
were, yeah, both guns, because I seen how they were
Describe what was pointed at you, the gun that was
pointed at me, like a 9mm or some kind of 45 that's got a slide on it, because they
and
were
what kind of
sliding.
gun was pointed at Marcus?
I said it's like the same gun, because when they were coming around, they were actually sliding. Both of them were sliding their pistols.
Yeah. All right. So what you saw basically 2 9mm.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't see a revolver.
No.
All right. Go ahead. Keep going.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you said that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
but it's fair to say that over time, your memory of the details have changed.
Oh yeah, yeah. 30 years ago, yes.
Okay. And over that time, you've been talking to Lamar Johnson's legal team going back to over a decade ago. Is that fair?
Yeah, at times, not. I mean, there's periods of 8, 9 months where I don't talk to any of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't mean every day.
Okay.
But back in 2010, prior to signing your 2010 affidavit, you met with an investigator with the Missouri Innocence Project a number of times before signing
Yes.
the affidavit. Is that fair?
Yes.
You've been shown recreations of the crime, photographs,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been shown pictures of people who definitely weren't the shooters, actors, or students, recreating that crime, and those pictures were shown to you.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
And you got visits from Lamar Johnson's attorneys whenever you were in prison around 2017 to 19, a number of times.
Yes.
And you also learned some things about the case that you never knew over the course of those years. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I have. Yes.
Okay, so some details were shared with you that you never even knew about.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes.
And you've been out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been out of custody since June of 2019, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been out completely. I violated a few times, but I've been out completely since, May 10th of 2020.
2020?
Yeah, I haven't been back at all.
So since 2020, since you've been out, have you met with any of Lamar Johnson's legal team since then?
Besides the Innocence Project.
They're included.
Okay, that's the only one's the Innocence Project.
And when's the last time that you spoke with them?
Today, well, I didn't speak to him today. I don't know, a couple days before this was, before what is, today's Tuesday, I think I met with him, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
Give me one moment, Your Honor. Okay. Prior to testifying at trial,
No, ma'am.
fair to say it was just those couple times you looked at pictures and then looked at one, and then the police were done with you, is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the last time that you saw Detective Nickerson would have been whenever he took you home after, I call it a warrant app, but whenever you met with the prosecutor the next day.
I would believe so, yes.
Okay. And can you tell me how many times you've met with Lamar Johnson's legal team over the last 28 years?
I couldn't tell you, but a few times.
And how many times were you shown the recreation photos of the murder that you witnessed?
The recreation photos,
Or the reenactment, whatever.
oh, okay,
You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, I do, but that, I've only seen that like once. I mean, I didn't need to see it any other than that.
And you remember telling them that the lighting was different in those photos?
Yeah,
And obviously they weren't the people that you saw on October 30th.
right, and I mean, the way they had it, leaving the mask and the way, yeah, the way that they came around, I think even the place that it happened at, I think is also changed, that there isn't a downstairs door no more, and I think they got a fence around it,
So there was a lot of things different.
yeah.
And so going back, I just want to make sure I understand this timeline correctly, Mr. Elking. So
Mhm.
October 30th, 1994, that's the day you'll never forget, fair? That's whenever you witnessed your friend get murdered.
Yeah,
And on November 3rd in the afternoon, we looked at some photographs with Detective Nickerson.
yes,
Is that fair? And you at least recognized something familiar about the eyes in one of those photos.
yes,
And on November 3rd, that night, you looked at in-person lineups, correct?
yes,
And on July 11th of 1995, you testified at Lamar Johnson's trial,
yes,
and you pointed to him in the courtroom and said, "That's the person who grabbed me."
yes.
And then,
Hold for a moment. Lamar Johnson was the person who grabbed you.
No,
Because that was the question you were asked just now.
she just asked me if Lamar
She
Johnson
asked you,
said-
was Lamar Johnson the person who grabbed you? You pointed in court and said Lamar Johnson was the person who grabbed you. And I just need to know if that's true.
Your Honor, I guess I know I pointed to him. I pointed him out.
You don't recall saying, or tell me, do you recall, or if you said in court, Lamar Johnson was the person who grabbed you?
I guess I did because he went to prison. I mean,
Well,
what I'm saying to you,
because there were two assailants, correct?
there were two assailants.
All right. Now, one of them was, as you said, wrestling with Mr. Boyd,
Yes,
and one of them grabbed you.
right.
And are you saying Lamar Johnson is the one who grabbed you?
You know, again, I'm here to tell you that I don't know who grabbed me, but you know, if I said it back then you know, I was lying, I guess. Or
Were you quoting from the record saying that Lamar Johnson is the one who grabbed me? Or was that just a
That was
question?
my question, Your Honor, and I think I can clarify.
Yeah, you need to.
Whenever you identified Lamar Johnson as one of the assailants, we understand your testimony today, sir, but back in 1994, the person that you identified as Lamar Johnson, was that the person who ran out to Marcus, or who was the person who told you to get the fuck up?
it would have had to have been the guy that told me to get the fuck up, because that's,
Okay, and
That's the one whose eyes you were looking at, from what you told me earlier.
yeah, that's the one where it all got put forth that's.
And that's the one you saw with the
And that's
9mm pointed at you.
And that's who the detectives told me and believed that it was. And so I believed it too.
very quick, Your Honor.
You may, Counselor.
Thank you. So I'm showing you.
All right, don't unalive me again. We're only going to miss like 5 minutes of this because it ends in 5 minutes. But I got to go. So we will finish this 5 minutes, which I'm not, the judge may question him a little bit harder in that last few minutes. The, whatever, Lamar Johnson's attorneys are going to come up and I think just do a few seconds or a few minutes of redirect. They're going to go to lunch and we will pick up that on Monday when they come back from lunch. Hopefully they fix the mics while they're at lunch and we'll have whatever. So I will be back Monday, 10:30, normal time. Should be normal week. Should be nothing going on. I apologize that the last few weeks have been crazy. Things just always seem to come in groups like that for me. So it is what it is. But you guys have a great weekend and always stay safe. And as you know, if you make bad choices and end up on trial, I'll stream it. May not like it, but I'll do it. With that being said, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys back on Monday.